Good evening, Javier Franco. Perspective from my porch. Steps for Success, life coach, founder. Uh, Today I decided to sit on my under my tree in my front yard and just have a little swing out here. So I decided to sit out here and sit on my porch. Last week I did make a video uh, for this program, but I didn't post it to my site. I didn't like it actually, so I deleted it. I think it did go on the Instagram. So if you know my Instagram, it's probably on there. I'm thinking it might have been on TikTok also. I can't remember, but I know it didn't get posted on either page on Facebook. Uh, Last week I talked about who influences you in your life, and or who do you influence in your life. I know that that's the question that I asked a few times uh, on Facebook. I'm starting to do a question of the day type thing, just to feel out what people are thinking, what people are saying, um, just the thought patterns. I'm not out in the community like I used to be, so I'm starting to. I just decided I'm going to start asking questions on my page. So if you see those questions, if you're a follower on either Steps for Success or on my personal page, Javier Franco, you'll see that question asked on those pages. So once again, the question was, who has influenced you in your life? The answers that I had were a lot of. I mean, there was a variety, anywhere from my religious background to God to. I think my favorite one was from a young lady who said, "The people who have doubted me and didn't think I could make it. Those are the people who influenced me." So the way I took that is she took a negative situation and made it a positive situation, which is very important that we do because many times we just get the negative and we don't see a positive in it. Um, I used to tell my clients all the time that uh, there's always a positive and a negative. Sometimes it's hard to find that positive, but there is a positive somewhere in there. Uh, I've been to funerals and we sit out there and we talk and somebody cracks up a joke and there's a positive there. There's something that we laugh about. There's something that we and there becomes a positive. Uh, I've been in situations where in the crisis worker, and I've dealt with police officers in the past and fire department, held MHMR, and we always found a positive in the situation that we were looking at. So the influence in that young lady's life was all the people who didn't think good of her or didn't think that she was going to make it, and the response to that, I think it was her mom. She said that that the young lady has always been a fighter and that she's always overcome situations. And to me, that was probably one of the best answers that I saw. There's a lot of great answers, but that was the one that I really encouraged me. Um, the next question that I asked was of the person who influences you, are you still in contact with them? Um, and some people say yes, some people said no, some people said I wish. Some people said that on a daily basis, once again, to spiritualize it, they pray about that to God. And one person said that they they contact the person who influences them on a daily basis. And the other part of that question was, what if that person is not alive? How do you do? What do you do in that situation? And the question and the answers were varied on some of the people, and they said, well, I would just find out what that person would tell me. I can think about the things that they would tell me. And sometimes when we have someone who's passed away, uh, we can almost imagine them talking to us and telling us, okay, you're going wrong, because they've taught us so much. They've taught us for so many years that, uh, and they've made such an influence in your life that you can literally hear their thought process. You can literally hear what they want to say in their life, in your life. I'm sorry. So once again, I think I didn't post the other question. I wanted to post the other question. Some things happened that I didn't get to post it. But the question that I was going to post is, who are you influencing in your life? And I don't think that um, that question would have been an easy question, because I don't think we notice when we ourselves influence somebody in some form or fashion. Um, just because of who we are, just because of what we do. Hello, neighbors walking down the street. That's why the dogs are barking, by the way. And so the question is, who do we influence? Who have we influenced in our lives? Is there somebody who has come up to you and said, "Hey, thank you for what you have done for me," or somebody who mimics you to a certain point? Um, and that's really important. Um, but sometimes we don't see that in ourselves. We don't see that we influence somebody. Even people who are negative, even people who sometimes we don't like being around them. Even they can influence you in some form or fashion. And usually it's going to be in a positive way. Hopefully it'll be in a positive way, so that you don't make the mistakes that they do. So that's an influence. That's somebody who's influenced you. uh, I guess as we go through the rest of this week, I guess one of the main question is I have is, if you don't know who has influenced you in your life, uh, is there somebody who you've missed that possibly was there for you and you just didn't realize it? The other part of that question is, how are you influencing others? How are you influencing young people? Especially the young people. There's a group of men that have been gathering together, and they've been doing things around the community quietly. They've been doing things in the community, and they're influencing people who are in need. And I'm hearing things like, "Oh, so and so, they helped me. I don't know. They just came in and helped me. They found out that I needed." And they were at a nursing home, and I'm thinking, wow, that's great that this man went to the nursing home. And I saw they had a guitar, and I was like, oh, that's great. you know Even they, and some of them were pretty young, they are influencing the people in the nursing home. So even as much as they said, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And there's those little small things that we do in life that influence others that we don't realize. That one word when I used to train people to work in crisis situations and family conflicts, I would tell them that one word can either destroy or edify the person you're dealing with. That one word can destroy or edify. In other words, that one word can build them up or can bring them down, and it's up to you. Um, Once again, we have to be careful of what we say. Uh, we have to be careful of what we do. Some months ago, last year actually, I was told uh, that they didn't like so and so because everything that they posted, or a lot of things that they said about the community, was in a negative fashion. They were always criticizing them. So they didn't really, and they said, I don't like reading their posts because they're always negative, they're always criticizing. And I know I've talked about that, and I know I'm kind of talking for a while today. But one of the things that I've tried to do is to be as positive as possible about our community. Yes, there are some negative things in our community. Yes, there are some things that need to be fixed. But those things, I don't think we need to uplift our communities, not just our community here in Sweetwater, but communities wherever you live. Because I do have people from around the United States who listen to this perspective from my porch, and I appreciate that. So, what what positive things can you say about your town? Well, we don't have nothing, and there's plenty of things to do, and people say that, and I say that about our town. But the more I looked around, the more I realized, hey, there are little things we can do. There's little simple things. Yeah, we have to go to other towns sometimes. But one night there was like 4 events going on our community, and I was like, well, there's things to do right now, but nobody's there. And it might be the things that we like, but either way, we need to be positive about restaurants, about even the schools, uh, uh, especially the schools, because that's where our children are learning. Encourage your teachers, encourage the administrators, talk to them as if that they're your friends. They should be. Don't go in an aggressive style. What influence are you giving your child when you go to that? Nancy Pelosi gave one of the best um, examples of how not to act when Trump was speaking at the State of the Union. She, at the end, she tore the thing, the paperwork, and at the time I was teaching some kids, and one of the kids said, "Hey, Mr. Franco, you need to go talk to Nancy Pelosi about anger management. You need to go talk to her about decision making and how she's showing the kids of today's society how how not to act." And I was like, "Well, yeah, if you're out there, if you're out there in the community, you better be positive. You better be a good influence because people are watching you and these kids are watching you. That's important, very important." Um, as I round off this tonight's broadcast, I want to thank y'all for your understanding and patience about me not broadcasting every week. But I always say this, I'm going to try to do better. Um, so influence somebody in your life. Go out there and influence somebody and go thank that person who influenced you. Maybe they don't know how much they've influenced you in your life. Perspective from my porch, Javier Franco. I'll holler at y'all later. Thank you.